Hey everyone, George here. I hope everyone is doing well and staying safe. This is Western Wednesday number 2. I'm going to talk about The Tall T, directed by Boetticher. Now, a couple of days ago, I stopped by the Big V, which is a local diner here in town where I live in Florida. They serve a really good breakfast, but till this day, I still don't know what the Big V stands for. Does it mean the Big Victory? I doubt it means the Big Vinny because they know what grits are. I wonder if people know what the T in the tall T stands for. Let's find out. Hey, Dad, do you know what the T for the tall T stands for?
Terror?
Terror? You got that right. You went a copy of Compadres. It ain't no Companeros, but it's pretty good.
You're kidding. Is that Jonah Hill?
No, it's not Jonah Hill. I think it's the kid from Spy Kids, all grown up. The Tall T came out in 1957 and is written by Burt and is based on an Elmore Leonard short story. It stars Randolph Scott. Randolph Scott plays Brennan, and he's having some bad luck. He gambled his horse away for a bull. He bet that he could ride a rancher's bull to a standstill in order to get that bull. But if he lost, then he also lost that horse to the rancher. He ends up on his own, and he's trying to find his way back to his place where he's raising some livestock. He ends up catching a stagecoach driven by an old friend played by Arthur Hunnicutt. Arthur Hunnicutt is driving a private stagecoach holding a married couple. The wife is played by Maureen. The married couple and Brennan end up being taken hostage by a trio of outlaws at a stagecoach station. The leader is played by Richard Boone, baby, yeah. And his character Frank has a couple of pretty funny partners. One of them is played by one of my favorite actors, Silva. Richard Boone's Frank is holding Maureen O'Sullivan's character for a ransom of $50,000 because the trio of outlaws find out that she's the daughter of a rich copper miner. Boetticher and Randolph Scott did a half a dozen or so westerns together. They're all really good. Burt wrote some of them. A couple of my favorites besides The Tall T are Ride Lonesome with Pernell Roberts and James Coburn, as well as 7 Men From Now with Lee Marvin. Those two are classics just like The Tall T. But The Tall T is my favorite. It's just something about that close encounter. It's very contained, and it's probably the grittiest out of all the movies. Burt Kennedy's writing is known for being super sharp. It really packs a punch, and they're pretty dark movies as well. This is no exception right here. This movie is absolutely brutal, and it's really violent too, but not in like a gory kind of way, more on just like it's just a violent story with these hostages and people getting killed ruthlessly, and Richard Boone's villain is ice cold, but he also has a bit of a sensitive side as well. He's kind of down on his partners because they're young and they're highly uneducated. They're super violent, so he feels like he wants to get away from them at some point and start his own place and find a woman that can cook. So he's kind of feeling lonely. One of the biggest themes in this movie is loneliness. Randolph Scott's character Brennan, he's a bit of a loner. He just has his own place to himself. He's raising his own livestock. He's just trying to get a bull and ends up in this crazy situation. So he's a bit of a loner. Maureen O'Sullivan's character, you later find out that she married her Weasley husband because she didn't want to be alone. The music is well done, and the movie is shot really well for the low budget, and all of these Boetticher movies are really well-made movies, with some just being better than others, and I think this one is definitely top tier, not only for Boetticher's career, but also for westerns in general. This is one of my favorite westerns. It's a really underlooked western, I think, but it really packs a punch, and its brutality, its writing, and it's really smart and psychological as well. I really dig this movie. I give it a 10 out of 10, and I think that if you really like westerns, you'll love it, and if you just want to see a great American classic, definitely check it out. And that's it for the review. I hope you guys enjoy it, and definitely check out The Tall T do it for Randolph Scott. Next week, I'll be talking about Bandidos, starring Enrico Maria Salerno and Valentino Valentini. It's one of my favorites as well. I will see you all next week for Bandidos. I'll see you next time. Take care and stay safe.